Oh God, what happened?
Oh, you hit the button.
I hit
Oh
a button.
no, Becca's leaving us. She's slowly
Rain.
taking over my seat. That's it.
What happened? The
I'll fix it.
invasion.
I
Oh,
can
Becca's
fix it.
coming to take my seat. All right, Becca's got this.
Becca, just lean to the right or the
What
left.
Lean
did
over.
I even do?
That way. Yeah.
But what you don't realize is, yeah, just slide your seat all the way that way off screen.
Perfect.
Perfect.
There we go.
Oh, you're
Now you
back.
need to
You're
go
back. You're back. Perfect. Woo.
You'll see nothing. We are professional stream here. I lie.
Oh, that was perfect. That's the best opener for the mornings or
Yeah.
the evenings, depending on where you're from.
Mhm,
Because we play. Yes, AJ and Michael and Brendan Fraser over there. I mean Ari. You don't see that, but it says on my screen Brendan Fraser.
I
Who
can
is,
explain what you did.
Brendan Fraser is amazing. A national treasure to everyone.
Yes.
Really. But with that being said, if you don't know, now you know. We are playing Rise of the Runelords. This is the Runelord Legacy. I'm your host with the most, your GM Jared, and yes, I am playing Rise of the Runelords, running through the first book, which was originally written way back in the heyday of like 2013. I think it was like many moons ago. But it was originally written for Pathfinder First Edition, and Pathfinder Second Edition came out, and Michael was like, "Hey, I like this system. Let's play it." I was like, "Cool, I'm running Rise of the Runelords for you." And he was such a generous host. He was like, "Here's my channel. Act the fool on my channel. Be polite, but act the fool." And that's what I do. And what I do is really well. But with all of that being said, I'm going to toss it over to the amazing Becca to tell you about who she will be playing and what's going on. So, Becca, how are you doing this morning?
I am nervous because we are in the middle of war and a lot is going on. So yes, I play Rain, our Alcese Moose, and a lot has happened from going to, a dragon to a water elemental to fighting yourself. It's a lot. It's a lot for someone to go through. You just thought you were going to be fighting some big old monsters, not yourself, which maybe is the biggest monster of all. Anyway, wish me luck.
Me? Hi,
Yes.
I'm AJ. I'm AJ Winters. It's been a few weeks. I was like, wait a second. I am playing Cecilia, the Catfolk Investigator. Cecilia is pretty freaked out at the moment because she's not with the group, and more on that soon.
And hi, I'm Ari. I'm playing the Elven Cleric of the group, and I'm gonna have to need to catch up because I don't remember where we left off actually last time. So much happened, and we've been like fighting for 2 weeks in a row, and I lost my
Mind?
shit. I'm losing my English, my memories. Let's go with that.
And hi guys, my name is Michael. I'm the Dead Gamer, and yeah, I think I'm with Scarlett on this one. Like it's been a wild ride. Sandpoint has been attacked. There were giants. It's been like a 3-week long saga battle. And I think we've done well. Like I'm fairly confident, short of the front gates getting knocked down. I think we kind of like. And I blew up some bridges, but I take that as my win, okay? I didn't see the giants blow up bridges, okay? I was the one who packed the C4. Anyway, you can't destroy our town if I get to it first. But yeah, I play the role of Malvolo, the human inventor, slash carpenter, slash doctor, slash demolitions expert, as well as Kalodi, the puppet. And yeah, we've I think things have quieted down a little, and I remain optimistic, but obviously cautiously optimistic. Yep. That's me.
Well, thank you, Michael. And also, if you don't know, there are a number of ways you can interact with us, the players, while we go through our campaign. And it's actually affected the game severely a number of times. We had some amazing NPCs. We had some amazing combat that's been going on because chat has been granting me powers, which is awesome. But let me tell you about it. So it's very simple. It's all through donations, and we appreciate all the donations. For $5, you can award a hero point or a sin boon, or a jinx point. Hero points go to the heroes, and the jinx goes to me. The hero points you will see under Scarlet. She has one. It's a little red token. So that's a $5 donation, and it's pretty awesome. For $10, you could grant a player or a GM a sin boon. So that's actually, I have it like, up on that side. It's floating over my head. That's right. I have one. It's magic, cool magic stuff. I got to summon in like some giants and a dragon and more giants and more dragons. So it was pretty awesome. And then I turned Rain against herself because I did that. That was the thing I did. So that was pretty awesome. For $20, you could grant a player or me, the GM, if you so desire, a natural 20, and Scarlet has one of those too. So it's the little gold coin you could see under her icon, and when they use it, they disappear through the magic of television, or computers. Who knows? I'm an old man. It's all the same to me. And for the $50 donation, and this is huge, you can create like an NPC can come in, or a magical item happens, and that one's pretty awesome. We've had a few really cool NPCs. Becca and Michael could tell you we had some really fun ones show up, and that really helped out. So that's what happens. And yeah, so when we reach $100 donation, a boss battle happens. You see that? That's the bar underneath the map currently. And when that fills up, we have an epic boss battle happen. Now, the donations are actually going to be going to getting Michael a giant mural put on the wall. Yes. Which is, I don't know if there's any more you like something better to support than just getting a giant picture of Michael's face on a wall so that he could be there for his friends. Let's put it that way. Not he'd be there for his friends. That's the best way to put it.
Always be there.
Always be there.
Always watching you, Robert.
That's not creepy at all. Not creepy at all.
No.
But let me get into a quick recap because we have some returning players and some players who have been in a lot of combat. So, Sandpoint has been attacked by some giants. Our friendly investigator Catfolk had decided to stick with the caravan that was heading out of Sandpoint, trying to get away. Now, in one of the earlier sessions, right at the very end, it had turned out that the caravan was assaulted by hill giants, a separate group of hill giants. Instead of attacking the town, they attacked the caravan because it turned out the hill giants are looking for greed. And a lot of the people that left were merchants and people filled with the power of greed in their body. So she was attacked. There's a lot going on there. While that was happening, the town was attacked. And Jack, the giant slayer, became went from NPC to full PC, reached level 4 through donations, which is kind of crazy because now it's an actual PC player. But giants assaulted. Players held them off. Finally, one of the larger giants came through on a raft. Marvolo jumped into the water, avoiding dysentery, and sunk his boat. As Marvolo sunk the boat, crawled out the water, and was like, okay, I did it, guys. The stone giant climbed up with some of his army onto the other side. Marvolo blew the bridge, separating himself from the mainland, and was like, I'm about to tank this. But in that same moment, the rest of the PCs showed up, aiding Marvolo, also showed up, dragging a dragon behind them. But that's besides the point. Yeah, there was a red dragon showed up and was trying to burninate the town. But they fixed that because Nexon rolled very high to counterspell a domination spell that was happening on the red dragon. While that happened, the party then fought the hill giant general, or the stone giant general, while fighting Rain started becoming infused with draconic energy because of the spell being broken. This is a baby dragon. It doesn't really know how to control its own personal magics. And it latched onto the only other person in the area that had connections to the primal realm. And that was Rain. So Rain became a bit more draconic than normal. In the fight, in everything, they saved the dragon, although it went down twice because the the stone giant general just really was mad that he lost his pet dragon, or his enslaved dragon. And the party, in all that commotion, they were able to take out the stone giant general, defend the town, and right at the end, they thought they won, and I used one of my sin boons to pull apart Rain. So evil Rain and good Rain, or like primal energy Rain and like normal Rain. And primal energy Rain started causing havoc, and that's where Scarlet did the most ever. She started to summon all different divine energies, and she caused a giant maelstrom to happen. Huge swirling tornado in the water, and Rain jumped in trying to drown or destroy this primal fury that was just exploding everywhere. And at the very end, it looked like Rain had won, but also was going to go down with the ship. But the dragon that they had aggressively protected, like wasting spells, reached out, grabbed Rain with its like last bit of energy, pulled her onto the shore, and then covered them as the storm kind of exploded with energy, and all that divine power needed to go somewhere. So the storm broke finally, raining water all over Sandpoint, flooding some of the area, and that's where we left. It was very chaotic. AJ, it got up there. It got crazy, but you're here, so that's okay. And that's actually where we're going to start. We're going to start with AJ, because I feel like you've had some time to relax. So we're going to jump into this, and we're going to pick up with you, Cecilia. Now getting into the character, trying to figure out what's going on. So as you were defending the caravan, trying to track these hill giants, you realized it wasn't just hill giants, it was also stone giants in conjunction, that this was a larger army. And at first, when you separated from Rain and Scarlet and you let them head back to town to help out Marvolo and Kalodi,
Yep.
You were in full control. You knew what was going on. You were very much in control.
Always.
The caravan that you were trying to protect and scout around suddenly became attacked. As the attack happened, you were a bit overwhelmed. These stone giants came at you from all sides, using your power, your innate, let's say, vampiric abilities. You were able to defend to the best of your capabilities, but something started to happen. As you're being dragged up, so the stone giants had captured most of the caravan, put them into cages made out of bones, and they're dragging you on this caravan away. The people of Sandpoint tend to your wounds, try to keep you healthy. Mayor Kendrick is there, and she is aggressively by your side, almost defending you with, as the stone giants come and they want to like ask you questions, she like uses her diplomacy and skill with language and talks them out of it. And this is the first time you've actually ever heard her talk in Jotun, which is the language of all giants. It's the giant language. So it's kind of surprising, but through your own experience, she it's more of like a formal language. You could tell she learned it in school than picked it up on like in the community. So definitely learned and not spoken normally. And sometimes she does that. She slips between common and Jotun because she can't figure out the right word. So she's like, hopefully they understand it. As you're there, I need you to make a Constitution save or a Fortitude save.
Okay.
So the first roll of the game.
Do. 23.
Awesome. Your body is beaten, and your fight with these giants was aggressive. And you start to have dreams of your past, where you came from. You slip in and out of consciousness as days. You're not. Sometimes you wake up, it's nighttime. Sometimes you wake up and it's daytime. You're not sure how long you've been out.
Okay.
Mayor Kendrick explains to you that you've had a fever and it finally broke. And she looks ragged. And the cart, the first time you looked in there was about 20 people. And now you look around and there's only maybe 10. It's definitely a lot less. She looks ragged, deep circles under her eyes. Where there was once a full face, it's now very gaunt. And just an expression. She tries to smile at you, but it's that like half-hearted, like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Can I help in any way? I feel like you've done so much for me. I don't
Oh,
know
honey,
how to repay you.
it's okay. They want to talk to you.
Why? Why me?
Something about you having a connection. Do you know what they're talking about? That you understand these symbols that they keep showing us?
Regrettably, yes. I woke up and there's less people in here than there was when I was awake last. Are they alive? Or
She kind of scooches closer to you as you're laying down, and she just holds your hand and she squeezes it as you say that, and she goes, don't worry about that. We need to worry about what the here and now. We can't worry about that. We'll come to terms with all of that. They've taken everything. Is there any way for you to get to the rest of the group, to call out to anyone? Do you have anything?
do I have anything? I feel like, can I try and, am I like tied up? Am I in handcuffs or anything?
You are not. You're in a bone cage.
Oh, right.
It's a 10 by 10 area, and there were 20 people inside, so you guys are all on top of each other.
With shaky legs, I stand for probably the first time in a few days. If I had a fever, and I will get up and I'll just test the bars a little bit and see if I can find like a weak point.
As you kind of like shake the bars, your hands go over them, and you feel there are notches in these bones. It reminds you of when you were a child and you would go to market and you would get fresh meat from the butcher. There would sometimes be notches in the larger bones when they would be hacking at them to try and break them. Now, you know that because of those notches, it weakens the bone and makes it easier to snap. So you're able to, so you look for a solid groove in one, like one that the I guess when they were butchering these, whatever made these bones, maybe they went a little too hard and they hit the bone a little too deep, and you find a groove, and you know this is a weak point, an area to snap.
Okay. Then I'm gonna use all of my force to try and like snap it by pushing it forward.
Mm-hmm.
Do I roll strength?
Yes. You can roll strength or athletics.
Okay.
I see you, Rain.
12.
That's okay. As you kind of like lean into this and you try to like snap it, your arms, you can feel your muscles again, very weak. Try it again.
Okay. Uh, 15.
Again, struggling against this weakness, you realize that you being out of the fight and having been sick from so much like taking so much damage, your body is weak. But a knowledge of your heritage comes forward, and a familiar voice in the back of your mind, a voice you haven't heard in long time, since atop the mountain when you finally put her to rest in that icy grave.
Oh no.
Kind of reaches up and says, "Do it. You could get out, honey. You could get out. You just need a little blood."
Out of desperation,
Mhm.
I'm gonna not do that. And I'm gonna try again with these bars, but like frustrated at
Like you
the,
just
just like I'm not gonna kill
Mhm.
another person in this cage. I'm gonna try it one more time.
I will give you a hero point for declining.
Thank you. 28.
There it is. So having like fighting against oneself, fighting against that thought, you're able to like just out of frustration, you start to push. And as you do, there's a snapping sound, and you're taken aback by it very quickly. You know, like when you're sneaking into your house, and you're not trying to wake your parents, and then the floor creaks. That's exactly what happened. It broke, and you're like, "Oh!" And you grab it and you hold it and you hope that no one hears. And I'm gonna roll to see if any giant hears. 16. Okay, no, they don't. Under that 28. So the giants do not hear you as you snap, and you could see they're pulling these carts, but the carts, you realize, you look up, there's like 5 carts in a row, and now you're taking in your surrounding because you need to take in your surrounding now it's your time. And you look, and there's 5 carts in a row, and it's very much like a child's toy. There's like 2 large giants pulling the head cart, and each cart is just tied to each other. So, you know, like a child's toy, like when they would like pull the row of ducks. That's exactly what you're looking at. And you guys are the rows of ducks. Nearby, there's another 6 giants, but they all seem to be just trugging along these roads, these back roads that haven't been used in years. Some of them are just ahead of the group, pushing over trees to make a path, and some of them are just wandering. As you now look around, you could see some of them are just chewing on rations and or just chit-chatting with each other. But there are very large, there's 4 hill giants and 2 stone giants with them.
Okay. I snap this part of the cage.
Mhm.
I'm going to try and squeeze out of whatever gap this has created.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and like wedge a bit and get my body through it as cat-like as possible.
As you do, please make a acrobatics check.
Okay.
This is just to see how well you're doing. You are squeezing your way through. Not a problem. As you squeeze your way through, you start to, your shoulders get in the way, but you've dealt with worse, right? And as you kind of push through, your legs give out a little bit underneath you, and you slip. As you're kind of coming out, and you cut yourself a little bit on the jagged piece of bone that you just snapped, tearing at your fur and leaving a red trail behind it. You're outside, and you look into the cart. Mary Kendricks is there, and she sees what you're doing, and the other townsfolk have started to like gather around you. Some of them are standing on very weak legs. Most of them are the elderly and the very young. You're now outside the cart holding the bars and holding yourself up on the cart.
Okay. I'm gonna drop and I'm gonna seek help. Can you get out?
We can try. But
okay.
Do you think that's best if we all...
I don't know. I don't want any more of you to die. I feel like I've led you straight into your deaths. I'm gonna find help. Either appease them or try and get out yourselves.
You know what? So Mara now holds both your hands on the bar. She grips them and she looks at you and she looks right into your eyes, and you could see she wants to agree with you, and then she looks back at the group. And with a heavy heart, she looks at you. She says, "No, we'll stay here. We'll cover for you. Go fast, my friend, please." And she reaches into her belt and she pulls out what looks like she might have been filing or chipping away at like a piece of stone, and she's turned it into like a pointy arrowhead, and she gives it to you, and you could hear some of the older people now whimper as the fact that like they might have been trying to use that to like they were going to try and escape with it, but she hands it to you. She pushes it into your hand and she says, "Go, please do the best you can."
I will be as fast as I can. I drop knowing that if I don't find help and the hill giants realize I'm gone, they're probably all gonna die. So as fast as my legs can take me, I'm going to sprint back towards the town.
You run just straight out, full sprint, hard pace, pushing every little bit of yourself out into the wilderness. As you run, you just want to clear space between you and the caravan at first. So you start to run. Make a survival check very quickly, please. This is you just looking around to your best, like, am I running into this tree line or am I running into like that tree line?
18.
So you look to your left, you look to your right, and you just go with your gut. You run to your right and you make a break. That tree line seemingly has it's a little bit more densely packed, more underbrush for you to hide in, and you just make a beeline and you haul it into the trees. You stop and you peer around as the caravan kind of slowly makes their way up and turns. You stay there a little, maybe too long, to just see your charges kind of go around the bend and just fade from view.
I keep running.
You start to run into the wilderness. You look up and you see it's probably about early afternoon. You have a good 8 hours ahead of you, and you start to go.
Okay.
We transition back to Scarlet, Rain, and Marvolo. Just as the storm breaks overhead and it starts to rain, you actually hear hissing sound. Like it sounds like it's like almost like sizzling sound, and it's coming from this holy rain that Scarlet had accidentally created from the maelstrom, and it's pouring down over the town, and it's burning out some of the undead giants that had been summoned by the gate that I had summoned using one of my magic tokens, my sin boons that had been granted to me. As that happens, you look up and there is just a great worm above you, a mighty red dragon, beaten, battered, scarred, bloody, but its wings are kind of protecting you, and its hand opens and there lays Rain. You're conscious, surprised, but conscious, Rain. Remember, this covered Marvolo and Scarlet, so you guys are under this dragon.
Rain
Okay.
is. Oh, go for it.
Oh, Malvolo stands with Rain covered in water. Collodi having just kind of pulled Rain out and onto the bridge. You see him kind of like as that last heave pulled Rain to safety. Collodi sort of falls backwards. His arms just kind of give way and fall out of their sockets, so they're still kind of holding Rain, but his body's like slumped backwards. Malvolo, for the very, very first time, seems to ignore the massive red dragon that is standing next to him on that beachfront and runs towards Rain to make sure she's okay, regardless of this creature.
It kind of looks down, and its great eye, the one that isn't swollen shut from being punched and beaten, and it looks and it starts to glow, like the underbelly starts to glow as if it's about to blow fire, and then just smoke starts to come out of its nostrils, and it's seemingly just warming you guys, like it's just kind of turning itself on as a heater.
Scarlett is gonna look up and say, "Oh, one day I will wear you as a jacket." That's it.
The dragon like looks now, like taking a second, and is just like, and it rears its head back. At this point, like opening its wings and allowing the rain to the not Rain, our C's friend, but the storm above start to come down onto everyone, and it starts to drop and drip upon you. And with a gravelly voice, it says, "That what? Why would you wear me?"
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? I didn't mean to.
Very loud. As I'm trying to.
It was very sincere. It came from the heart. That's why. No, I'm just kidding. Just go on your way.
Oh, can I also take that moment realizing that Scarlet has made a comment about like, I'm gonna wear you as a jacket. As soon as I hear that, I like kind of like cast my gaze over at the shield that I had crafted from the scales, and I kind of look up and I just knock it into the river, like just
It like it slides down and just like you hear like a as it like hits into the bottom of the river. And then now the dragon kind of like more serpentine as the younger dragons are. They're more like snake like. They're longer, and then as they get older they get pudgier and beefier, just like we all do in real life. So it kind of like snakes around, you know, like when a snake is like curling up. So it snakes around the group, and it looks around, and at this point it kind of like stretches its neck, and it for the first time in a long time it stretches its body, and it you could see that it's trying to understand this sense of wonder of and it looks and says, who freed me?
Rain.
Oh, sorry, you go.
Rain, in her weariness, who's just kind of gone very weak in the body and in her mind right now, just kind of nods her head, using her antlers over to point towards Nexon. She did. Right? That's what I remember. I thought so.
Yep, no, you're,
okay, good.
you're
Yeah,
right.
I was like,
she rolled like almost in that 20 on
Yeah.
to break the magic. So yeah. And again the dragon like looks, and a smile crosses its face, or what you would assume is a smile, right, for a lizard. And it kind of flexes its wings open, and Rain, you notice that on its the skin between the bone
strands.
joints, yeah, you notice that on both sides of the wings is that the rune of slavery had been like scarred into this creature. And it looks at the group and says, well, you set Longtooth free, and Longtooth not free in long time.
You are
Longtooth
now,
not
though.
eat you.
Oh. Okay. And Rain kind of collapses on its body since it's been circling around us, kind of
Yeah.
using it as a way to help prop herself up at this
Mhm.
point. Well, that's very nice to hear. Thank you. And she kind of almost struggling to keep her eyes open will lean against this dragon, using it almost as her crutch at this point, trusting it entirely, but also not really caring to be able to do anything else.
Its tongue flickers, very serpentine like, and it flickers near you as if tasting the air around you, Rain. And it says, you're a tiny dragon. What species are you?
I'm sorry. What? No. I'm not a dragon. Have I completely gone back on my transformation?
Yeah, you're Rain.
Okay. She's like looking at her hands. I don't. No, I'm not. I'm an Alcese. I'm a moose. And she'll point to her antlers, kind of touching them, making sure they're there. And it kind of realizes at this point they're much bigger than before. And she's realizing that that's perhaps part of her struggle. Like they're much heavier and larger and almost different shape at this point. No, but I'm pretty. I'm an Alcese. No. I'm not a dragon. I'm not a dragon. And can I look over and kind of see my reflection in the water at this point?
Yeah, so you like look down and you see Marvolo's shield, the dragon scale shield, just like in the mud, but in the water.
And side eye him.
You
Huh, what's that? Oh, I need to repair the bridges. Okay, I'm coming.
I'm coming with you.
Like the Scarlet's like,
We out. The don't want to die team has left the building.
as you kind of like look down into the river, like the bank from where you guys are, looking down, you're able to see that like you have changed slightly. The scales are gone. The flaming hot Cheeto power is definitely no longer active.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. She's shocked though, still, like the exhaustion on her face, the torn clothes a little bit, because obviously when you Hulk out, your clothes don't stretch that much. I don't know where the Hulk gets his pants, but apparently I need a pair. So it's just torn at like the joints in certain parts. And she notices not only is her face just exhausted, she sees her antlers now large and almost much more grotesque looking, much more monstrous in size, and her hair gone bright white, almost shimmering like moonlight, even though it's daylight outside, just bright and silver. And she leans over, studying herself. This can't be right. And she'll look up to the dragon. This isn't what I look like.
Longtooth think you look nice for little dragon.
But why do you keep calling me a dragon? I mean, I know I'm different, but I don't look like a dragon.
And it flicks its tongue out, and now it like kind of tickles your face because it comes close. Like think like a puppy dog, like licking an owner.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's like, you taste like dragon, taste like cousins.
Like, you mean my energy?
Yeah. You taste like dragon. You don't worry, you'll grow into horn. Longtooth used to have one long tooth, grew into it.
And that's your name.
Yes. Now I call you Bighorn.
I actually have a name already.
Yeah, Bighorn.
No. It's Rain. My name is I'm Rain. She's looking at the water and their reflection again, almost saying it to herself. I'm Rain. No, that's who I am. I'm Rain. I'm not Bighorn or Dragon. I'm Rain.
And so Longtooth like looks at you and then looks at the like, and then like realizing, kind of looks up at the sky and then looks at you and says, Rain. Yes, Rain.
Yeah.
And then he kind of like licks at you again and he says, well, Rain, why are you here?
Why? We were here protecting the town. We were stopping the invasion, of course, and things got a little out of hand, obviously. But Nexon saved you, and we stopped them. And she's going to see her reflection still, and it continues to unnerve her. So she's going to throw like kind of kick rocks into it, scattering her reflection, making it ripple all across so she can't see herself anymore. And the village. We were here to save the village, and she's going to look back up at Sandpoint. That's the town. That's the town we were trying to save.
So Longtooth, seeing that you kicked the rocks, he like, or it kind of does the same thing and like pushes the rocks in. He's trying to like mimic you a little bit. And he says,
this is what we do.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, it makes sense to me. He like pushes the rocks in. It's the Longtooth. You saved town. Longtooth tried to burn town. You stopped Longtooth. Then set free. Little one over there, powerful.
Wait, you remember what was going on while you were And she's gonna kind of like point to her underarm, like where you would have the wing, like while you were under control.
So it opens its wing and it shows you and says, yes, kinda long tooth, no, but long tooth can't stop.
Okay. No, I completely understand. I completely understand. And she's going to pull her hair back in a ponytail so she can't see it as much. Like as she leans forward, it dangles down. She doesn't want to see any more of that. And she'll pull it back into almost a small knot behind her head. No. That's perfect. That's perfect. Yes, let's focus on that. Let's focus on that. If you can remember anything, let's take you to the group. Maybe you can help us. The ones who enslaved you. We might be able to get information, find out where you were. It'd maybe make sure it doesn't happen to you or any other dragons. Right? Would you like to help out?
Yes, of course. Cousin's stuck.
Wait, they have your cousin?
Cousins.
Cousins?
Yep.
And just at that moment, Scarlett just leans in. Cousins?
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
And she leans back.
Scarlett's like, I can make a bag. I could have a coat. I could have boots.
Yeah.
Brain still exhausted. Can I lean against the dragon? Does it seem all right with that I continue to do that and guide it back to town?
Yeah.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. She kind of like a guide. She's gonna put her arm around him a little bit, the snake-like body, and try to keep most of her weight, but she's going to falter quite a bit and continue to have to lean and press her body in. Just take us up towards the main gate. It'll be fine up there. No one's going to hurt you, especially with me here. Okay?
Okay.
They recognize me still.
What? And then Longtooth like looks over at Marvolo and Scarlet and says, "What about Jacket?" And he's looking at Scarlet. He says, "What about Jacket?" And he's calling you Jacket, like he doesn't know your name. He assumes your name is Jacket.
And I say, what about Jack, the hottie dilf?
Yeah, Jack is just looking at everyone. Is just like, what is happening? Like Jack is like taken aback. Like there were stone giants, there were undead giants, and now a dragon. And you guys are just hanging out with a dragon at this point. And Jack is with the soldiers, and you can hear them like just muttering to each other. And Jack's like, "Yo, just be cool, be cool. Everyone just follow your training." And they're like, "No one trained us for dragons and giants. Like goblin raids, sure, okay, fine. Town drunks, got it. Dragons, no." And then just like, and he just, as you come by Rain with Longtooth heading over, Jack just kind of gives you the old like nod, like, "Hey, just,
It's fine. He's fine. He's with me. It's okay. He was under a spell. I promise it's all right. If anything, Longtooth here. Longtooth, this is Jack. Maybe Longtooth will help us a little bit, at least with some information."
And then Jack reaches into his belt, pulls out a flask, unscrews it, just takes a long sip.
He's gonna retire.
2 days till retirement. And then closes it and then looks at like Scarlet, I guess, is you're kind of close, and he just without like hesitation just hands you the drink.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like this, watching him because he's so hot and I cannot flirt with him. And yeah, I grabbed the drink and like emptied.
I like that. Scarlet, please, no games. Scarlet, just bang.
Yeah,
Down the hatch. Um, as you finish the drink, Jack kind of looks at you and just nods and is like, "This, yeah." Gives you the like, okay. And now Longtooth like slithers up and like helping you, Rain. It stretches its wings and trying to flex itself. It lowers its hind leg to allow for you to like climb on.
Oh. Honestly, I've always wanted to ride a dragon. I didn't think that it would happen this way, that I actually got to befriend one, but perfect.
Like murder ride the dragon. Like, I'm gonna drive this dragon. Yeah.
When you first described the dragon coming in, yes.
Sorry.
No, this is way better. Friendly terms are much more preferable. She will slowly but try to climb onto the dragon. Thank you for this.
Climbing up onto the dragon, it starts to flap and again spreading the wind out. It flaps and takes to the air and again creating like with a helicopter, it takes off. It creates a lot of that dust. And as it gets up there, it reaches out with one big back claw and it grabs up Scarlet in its talon, and then it starts to go. And as Marvolo is like trying to figure out the bridge, it just yeets up Marvolo in the other back talon.
There is a small girl scream that immediately floods this town, like a siren of like a World War II siren, like. Ah! Ah! I'm sorry. The scales fell off. I thought you didn't want them. Ah!
Okay, and Scarlet is just screaming, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I healed you twice or something, please."
Something.
You did. And Longtooth just in its power, like you could feel this thing moving forward. Like it's flying through the air, and it's terrifying and also awe-inspiring, as like a dragon moving through the air is kind of like riding an airplane, but on the outside of the airplane, like you're sitting on the plane.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, but it's awesome, right? Like it's terrifying.
No one describes like the wind blowing in. You've got like the big air in your cheeks.
Yep.
And your lips are going all wild. Bugs are flying in. Like I can't see anything.
Meanwhile,
tears streaming down.
Meanwhile, back in Sandpoint, you lying down with like no arms on the dock is like Collodi going, "Yeah, no, don't worry, I'll just stay here." Okay, you have fun, you crazy kids. Hey, buddy, lend us a hand.
Jack actually walks over to Collodi, picks Collodi up, and
oh my,
Chewbacca C-3POs him to his back, like ties him to his back, and starts to head towards following the dragon. Because Rain explained to the dragon saying, "Hey, can you bring me to the town center?" So the dragon heading over the town. We now shift the scene back to Cecilia. Cecilia, you're running into the woods and you're trying to figure out which way to go. It's been about an hour or so at this point, and you have had a chance to kind of get a better sense of direction to exactly where you're going. Can you please make a survival check?
Yep. Uh, 21.
21. 21's a good number. Following your gut, you kind of stayed next to the road that they were creating, and you're following that back. And as you're going up and down hills, You pass through some streams, and it's very simple, right? Like, these are giants. They just clear things out of their way. Nothing is really in their way, as they are just moving through it. As you go, you finally make your way, and like I said, it's been about a little over an hour or so, and you get to what looks like an encampment. And this is clearly an area where the giants first made camp. Can you give me a perception check, please?
Yep. $29.
All right.
I immediately start my investigation skills.
Yes.
Just scoping.
Touching into that natural ability that you've like trained up and built upon being an investigator, you look around and you start to take in clues, very grim clues, as you look around, and you can see in some of the fire there seems to be skeletal remains, humanoid skeletal remains. You count through, and there's probably 6 bodies that had been used. Looking around the camp, you actually find some paperwork. Looks like it might have been a note that a giant was carrying and fell out of its pocket. Looking over the note, it's explains to these giants that their job is to capture those filled with greed and to bring them back with the signature of M. It just has a large M at the very bottom.
That's not great. All right. I don't waste time collecting the bones and doing a proper burial, but I shed a tear for the loss of innocent people, and I continue heading back towards the town. I need to find help to save the others, otherwise they're gonna die.
Make a fortitude save, please.
Okay. $25.
Wonderful. Moving forward, you start to go, and
I also patched up my wound.
oh yes, I was in the motion and moving. You were able to make a quick like patch to go. You've actually probably slinged up your arm a little bit, as like it would hurt to move. As you go, you kind of see your direction where you need to go, and everything gets real hazy very quickly, and then it looks like mist. It's very confusing. It looks very misty. Kind of like you have
around me,
just around you, but also you look at yourself and you seem misty, like a smudge. Everything looks out of sorts.
That can't be good. I immediately start thinking through the list of poisons I know and have potentially used on people to see and determine whether I contracted something from those bars from the cut.
Yes. Make a medicine check.
Recognize this? Okay.
The big old question mark.
Medicine. Oh, I suck at that. 15.
Now, as you kind of like start to think, and now you go into your head and you start to think on what's happening, You're like, no, it definitely wasn't that. And does Cecilia have like a tick, like when she thinks? Like, does she bite her lip? Does she like I do this? Like I do the Charles Xavier, I'm gonna mind blast people.
Yeah, I think I'm already doing it.
Yeah.
It's very like, okay.
Yeah. So focusing on that, like that self tick that we all kind of have when you're trying to think, you close your eyes and then you open them, and now it's nighttime. And you are not where you started. You've like definitely
What?
yes. You look around, you're solid. The mist is gone, but you're no longer like a smudge. Like that's the only way to describe it. Like you're out of you were out of focus and now you're in focus. And where you were standing in that encampment, you're now, you look up and you try to get your bearings. You look around and you see the moon is slowly cresting the horizon when only it was afternoon.
Am I further towards the town or am I?
You are further closer to the town. That like your only way to describe it is like you might have went into autopilot and started moving.
Okay, I'm going to as I keep moving, I'm gonna like tear off the bottom of my like undershirt, and I'm gonna start wrapping my like visible limbs. I don't want people to know. Like if I'm doing something magical or crazy, I don't need that to be the priority. I need people to go help these people that are being kidnapped by the giants. So I'm gonna try and hide it like as best as I can in my like panic as I keep running towards the town. And then like just going over all the potential scenarios that could be happening. Like, because I opened that portal that one time that I had magic.
Yes.
And I'm like, did I open a portal? Did I tap into some magic I didn't know I had? Like, there's just a list running in Cecilia's head of like hypothetical situations that could have been. Because the only way to go about this is logic.
Makes sense to me.
Yep.
As you kind of like look around and you've kind of like junted or shunted into this new space, you start to wrap up your limbs and kind of cover yourself. It doesn't feel like that same magic you had before, where you open that portal. It kind of feels closer to that the first time when you came here to this time period.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna hide that as best as I can. Then I'm gonna like pull my cloak down further. I'm gonna like wrap my fingers, everything. Like no one needs to know this. I make it to the town.
That's it. As you start to move forward, you realize you're now closer to the farmlands where the caravan first started. And you're like dumbfounded as how far you just traveled. Because it took
days. It took
days. Yeah, to get to where you were. And now you're like, I did this in like maybe a night.
Yeah, that's not good.
As you kind of start to go forward, you hear voices talking. You sneak behind, I guess, some brush. Please make a stealth check.
And that one, 14.
Oh no.
As you kind of get behind some of the brush, you step and you like crouch down and you're doing that like crouched like hide moving and having your cattail out. You're able to balance yourself and you crouch, come forward, and you're like, oh, I'm going to get behind this tree. And as you come around the tree to kind of get a better position, you're face to face with someone using the potty.
Okay. Cecilia's first thought, and she might regret this. Cecilia's first thought is like, fuck, I wish I could portal jump again.
Okay. As you do that, as you kind of like think to a portal jump, the guy in front of you kind of like panics and he's like, and then you start to fade again. Please make a fortitude save.
25.
Okay. As you look around, it's still evening. The moon is much higher in the sky, and you are standing at a sign that says, "Welcome to Sandpoint. Please take a look and see yourself as we would like to see you." And it is the entrance to Sandpoint.
Oh no.
Did
that guy was just taking a poop and I like rocked up and then just disappeared?
Yes.
Oh lordy. Okay. I think I'm just gonna internally scream and walk into the town in search of my friends.
Sure. As you start to head into the town, you come through the front gate that you had come through the first time when you met with Marvolo, and remember there was the whole crowd of people, and then Marvolo took the group back up to Thistletop. So you remember this gate. You come to the gate, it has been damaged, and there are dead giants just laying around. One of the giants is dead, like climbing up on the thing, crouched over. Further up ahead, it looks like it got passed. There seems to be a giant down, but with giant like acid marks all up into its body.
All right. We're not going to think about that right now. Do I see any immediate danger? Like, is there still giants, or is the battle sort of like happened?
It seems as if the battle has ended. You look around and you give me a perception check, please.
Okay. I feel like I'm the only one rolling.
Sorry.
It's okay. Perception. Oh, that's almost a 20.
What is
17.
happening today?
That's close.
I don't know. I'm cursed. Apparently I'm fading. I don't know what's happening.
You look around and you start to walk, and as you go forward, you step onto a very large hole, and the ground starts to give way. And the moment that happens, a sudden realization that this was probably one of Marvolo's traps that he set up.
We talked about fortifying I should have known that. I'm just I think in Cecilia's panic, I think she's exhausted. She went through a high fever. It's been days. She's now jumping in time. I think she's just going to start yelling for rain. I think it's just in the hole. I think Cecilia's just going to be like, rain!
As you start to yell and scream, call out to your friends, you're in like this panic. You seem to be leapfrogging through just points in space.
Nope.
We shift a little bit back, and we now pick up in a much nicer scenario. Amico, Jack, the other town guards have started to drink heavily and sing and cheer in the Rusty Dragon as Scarlet, Marvolo, Rain, and Collodi Torso with Head have made their way back into the tavern and started to drink. Rain, sitting next to you, is now a small, red-furred, long-toothed moose dragon. It polymorphed itself to look like a humanoid form, and it chose the only other dragon it knows that's in humanoid form, and that's Raid. So now it looks like it obviously looks like imagine a dragon trying to imitate a moose.
Perfect.
Yeah. And it's sitting there, and it has like this big grin, and it actually has one long canid tooth, hence its name, long tooth. The guards here are excited. The few of them that had survived the initial onslaught. Amico has opened up 2 kegs, and you guys are just drinking and eating and kind of enjoying this moment of quiet. Jack is sitting next to Scarlet and is trying to teach Scarlet a drinking game where it's more or less kind of like Simon Says, but every time you mess up, you have to take a swig of ale. And there's like a whole rhyme scheme behind it. And so it's a little confusing. The whole point is confuse your friend. So you have to start a sentence. You're like, back in my day, we used to always drink with the purple red. And then the next person adds something on, and it says, back in my day, we used to drink with something that was purple red and fish. And you keep going, and the person to mess up has to take a swig. And that's the whole thing.
Gosh.
Okay, so Scarlett's like, back in my day.
Scarlet just kind of like passes out a little bit.
And just passes out.
Brilliant.
As like Scarlet, you pass out. Do you? Here's my question.
On Jack's knees, I pass out on Jack's knees.
There you go. I was gonna ask. I was like, where you pass out, Scarlet? On the table? Where you pass out? There you go. So Scarlet, you kind of like fall back onto Jack, and Jack and the table erupts in laughter as everyone's like having a good time, and Marvola, what are you doing in this scenario?
Malvolo is Malvolo has for the first time in his life, ever since leaving the Sandpoint in the first place, never wanting to actually step foot out of his carpentry shop, finally felt like he has done something right. Like, ever since Jarvis, his best friend, was killed, he kind of always felt like there was some disconnect between him and the town, and he'd isolated himself. But sitting at a quiet table with probably the 3rd drink that someone else has bought for him, the other 2 also barely having been touched because he doesn't like people who touch his food and drinks. He kind of just underneath his mask sort of has this like sort of glow that just sort of makes him feel like for once like this place in a very long time has kind of started feeling a little bit like home. Meanwhile, Collodi is doing his best impression of a Fatawakan, dancing in the center with anyone who would, children, with the drunks, with the fair maidens. He's basically using the fact that he has he has ball joints on all of his limbs to great effect. He's basically doing what he originally was actually designed and born to do, which was play and entertain and bring joy to people. Not have chainsaws and explode, but like to make people smile and tell jokes and bring joy. this is a moment of contentment.
Oh, yeah. That like Amiko is sitting kind of like across from you, but looking at Collodi, and she's like clapping along, and there's some Bethan, the halfling, has taken out her violin and is just going to town, and there's Collodi just doing the most you've ever seen. And some of the guards are trying to like get in with him and dance, but like clearly having ball joints makes you a way better dancer. And I feel like Collodi would, like, one of the guards gets in and tries to like start to break dance a little bit, and Collodi hits him with the greatest robot you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There are even bits where his upper body and his lower body like sort of split off and start like breakdancing separately to one another, like from the hip.
That's awesome.
And I also imagine that as Malvola's doing that, he's kind of got his arm resting on his chin, when he kind of feels this like jab in his back, and turning around, seeing Cassandra, like as her elderly form, basically just saying, you don't need to show off, kind of deal without so much words. And he kind of shrugs as if like, I don't control Collodi. He does what he does.
Rain, how are you feeling? You got a little dragon sitting next to you that's might or might not be underaged. I'm not sure how
Dragon's
the
age
drinking laws work with dragon, but this guy is just pounding them back.
You call him little, but he's probably my size.
Yeah.
And I'm likely exhausted and also embarrassed. Like, Rain always goes through spaces like this, hunched down, trying to make herself as small as possible, trying not to be a nuisance, asking for the bare minimum. And then there's this guy, who's just boisterously probably happy to move around in any space, pretend that he's there, take up as much as he wants, ask for more drinks, spilling things around. It just, would you please stop doing that? No. And she'll like pick up the cups or put them at least all together in one spot that's easy for our bartender to easily grab and clean up afterwards. Would you just slow down a little bit?
It's like, my hoard, no. And then you keep taking the drinks, and he's like, my hoard.
You're fine. Just slow down. There's plenty, but you don't have to rush. Okay, we have to be very considerate. They just got back to their town. There's a lot to do, and you're not the only one who needs the drink, okay?
It's like, I need drink.
You will get, just slow it down. All right?
So Longtooth kind of looks at you and then takes his mug as you're like, slow it down, and he just looks you dead in the eye like a child would, and just slowly begins to drink real slow, just, and then loud gulps, like gulp, and then like pulls it down. And he goes, and then finally puts the mug down.
Yes, fine. That's exactly the way you're supposed to do that. It's just, she puts her head in her hands, just trying to hide herself from the embarrassment, like secondhand embarrassment. There's probably nothing even to be embarrassed about, but she is like just so uncomfortable with all this. Just be aware of what you're doing and your horns and all the space that you're taking up. You didn't have to pick a similar look, did you?
And he looks at you and he says, he like flickers out his tongue, a very like draconic, but it's more moose-like, so it's more rounded than it is. So he's like, yeah, he's like, as a snake would, and he's like, oh yeah, he was like, I Rain and the tiny one set me free. I want to be like them.
Oh, sweetie. Okay. That's a very nice thought. There's not a lot that look like me. It's a little hard sometimes to navigate these spaces like this. I appreciate it, but You don't have to do that.
And kind of like confused as to like looks at you and says, no, why? Rain powerful. I want to be powerful. I look like Rain, and tomorrow I look like Tiny One who set me free.
Okay. Yeah, you're switching it up. No, I get that. I get that. It's just power comes in a lot of ways, and this particular form is a little more burdensome, if you will. Like
bird, and he makes flapping.
No, maybe annoying, like some birds. You know, it's
annoying. And then he looks and he points to the robot. He's like, annoying, and he points to Kalodi.
Kalodi at this point has taken a ship wheel from off one of the walls and has put it and has basically inserted it into the middle of him and has started to spin it to make it look like he's got like this whirling dress and has started like basically just sort of like kicking his legs out like a ballet dancer and just spinning in 3 different directions simultaneously. And as he's doing so, he's walking on the bar, kicking over glass, and like, basically just being, a nuisance.
Awesome. The crowd is loving it, right? Like it's just a giant relief. Everyone's just trying to relieve, just get rid of all the stress, right? Like that the time has passed. Everyone's cheering, and as everyone cheers, Jack kind of like nudges you, Scarlet, so that like you could kind of wake up and be like, he's like, come on, honey. He's like, come on, no. He's like, here, drink this, and he gives you a drink, Scarlet, and he's like, here, this will help. And it's just more whiskey. They're just giving you more whiskey, and then you push it away, and he's just like, oh, come on, enough, like you're fine.
Okay.
And
I say, who's ready to party?
And then the guards all like, woo! They've all become woohoos. They're just cheering at everything. Scarlet, as you're kind of giving like into the inhibition, but also like allowing yourself to bring merriment to everyone, you start to glow slightly, and you start to like the evil bees are now happy bees, and like they start to like fly off of you and land on different people, and as they do, you could see the people are now like entering a state of like euphoria. Like some of the people who like might have lost a friend, remember we did lose a few guards to the giant dragon fire, and they looked a little sour and they were drinking off in the corner, and now they seem to like perk up, and you're kind of just giving joy to people. But
you get a bee, and you get a happy bee, and you get a happy
you're not, these aren't the bees that send you to different dimensions, which actually happened. So like your goddess is imbuing you with power, and sadly, as you are giving out this joy to others, it is making you a little bit more and more sober as that's happening. You're trading off your enjoyment for their enjoyment.
Okay. And I am astonished about having just done that. Like, huh. And I'm just gonna take a bottle and just be alone for a second.
Nice.
Has Malvolo kind of noticed how much Scarlet's been drinking?
I think at this point everyone's noticed how I think Malvolo's and Rain are the two most sober, right?
All right. Malvolo does not wish to assume that Scarlet is over drunk or anything like that. But what he does is he he talks to Cassandra and orders like a serve of very heavily salted cabbages and slices of cheese. And just kind of when Scarlett's not looking, I want to kind of put it on the table in front of her, just because the probiotics in cheese and the salt used in the cabbage help break down alcohol within the gut and prevent hangovers and stop for sickness and stuff like that from happening. So I'm gonna do that just quietly off to the side.
So Scarlett, as you're like tossing magic bees out, you look down and now there's food. And how do you react to this?
I'm hesitating between two options. I'm gonna grab the platter and say, "Hey guys, there's food," and just kind of offer it to everyone and kind of take some and stuff my face with it, but still share some. And say and go to Malvolo and say, "Hey, look, want some cheese?"
Malvola will actually take the cheese because I was the one who prepared it, and I will actually eat a piece. It's actually one of the cheeses from the regular wheelhouse here, but what's done to it instead is there's a thin layer of buttered garlic and spice that's been put into a hot pan, and then both ends have kind of just been seared ever so slightly, not to melt, but to crisp and charcoal the two edges of the cheese. That kind of only gives it a texture almost like marshmallow, like as you pull it out.
What?
I'm gonna tell Malvolo, that's crazy because I was just getting super hungry and then a platter of food just appeared just right in front of me. It's like I have a little tiny guardian angel watching over me. But I picture him like kind of a little troll with a long nose and like big ears, and he smells like garlic. How are you?
Malvola sort of takes a moment and goes, I am very fine, thank you, Scarlet, and it seems like your guardian angel definitely is looking for your best interest. Hopefully it's looking for all of our interests as well. I think it's nothing short of a miracle that no one died during this invasion.
No, it's my guardian angel, and I'm not gonna share him with or her with anyone or them. Sorry.
Well then, a toast to not sharing with anyone. I hold up my brick of cheese.
Your shoulder looks so comfortable right now.
Yes. Well, all of a sudden, Collodi sort of falls behind the counter, and because the wheel's spinning, he starts bouncing around the room, and starts smashing things up, like on the walls. You see Malvola sort of stop, and he realizes his mask is still half up from when he's eating, and he goes, I should see to that, and he closes the mask and darts off. You can definitely see just before he puts the mask down, there's like this very, very thin whisper of a smile as his cheeks are kind of flush.
Okay, so then I give up on Malvolo, turn around, lock in my next target, which is Jack, and say...
No. Yep, that's it.
Hey, hot dilf guy, come here.
Can I just say, if Cecilia is fading, right, and stuff like that, can I imagine like this scene where there's just Rain in a pit holding Cecilia as she's dying, and then Cecilia just says, "Tell Scarlet she lost."
She did.
So as you give Jack the old double gun eye wink, which is the best pickup line ever in the history of time and space, Jack kind of smiles and like takes a swig and like stands up and bows to you and asks to dance with you.
Okay, so I'm just gonna dance with Jack by stepping on his feet and like smacking him by accident because I'm too drunk to be a good dancer.
Oh, I thought that was your flirting technique. I was like,
It works on some
Custom.
people.
what?
No, I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry.
Uh,
And, yeah.
So Jack, like, as you're like stepping on his feet, he's like, he's like, oh, it's okay. And then he's like, oh, I got an idea. And he like puts one arm like strongly around like your lower back, and he kind of like lifts you a little bit. And he's just like, here, hold on to my neck. And then he takes kind of charge and starts to like lead the dance, but keeping you off your feet. So you're not stepping on his feet anymore. He was just like, I don't want this elf to step on me, but I still want to dance with her. So he like continues to dance, and like the other guardsmen are like cheering, and some of them are like, oh, look at that old dog. And he's like laughing, and everyone's having a good time.
And just at that moment, so where are his hands on me? Like behind my back, right?
Yeah, so he took one of his arm, and he hooked it around your lower back, and he kind of like lifted you up and pressed you closer to him so that he can like hold you and twirl with you.
Okay, so I feel something. I grab his hand and say, and see a wedding ring on his finger.
Oh, and
It's
he
so
kinda,
hard
like,
to tell if Scarlet's like drunk or incredibly lucid.
This is
And then he
all part
looks-
of the seduction. This is all part
It's
of
all,
the
Yes.
it's all part of it.
Turns out it's just been grape juice this whole time, and no one's
This-
been the wiser.
Yeah.
Scarlet actually has really high deception, so it could have been just grape juice and all of us. So as you do that, he kind of like smiles and like puts you down, and he gives you a wink, and he's just like, "Oh, you the drink it took hold of me. I'm sorry. Yes, the missus. But let's not. I shouldn't bore you with that." And the table, like as you kind of like show him his own hand with the wedding ring, the table that you were drinking at with the guards like erupt into laughter as they realize like the charade is up, and they're just like dying of laughter over there. And they're all getting loud, pointing and laughing, and a few like some of them are banging on the
Aw, poor
table.
Jack.
And
I'm just looking at Jack like I'm amused, and it's funny. It's funny more than anything.
as
dude.
as everyone is laughing at Jack, next to you, Rain, Longtooth starts to copy the men, like the other
no.
guardsmen, so that he's like pounding and laughing and pointing, but like imagine a snake laughing. So it's like
If he ever points, I'm gonna smack his hand down. Like, just
Yeah.
no, stop that. Stop that. That's rude, and we don't point at people. Obviously.
and then he like looks over at you, and he like looks at Longtooth looks at their hand and puts it down, and like kind of like shrugs and falls into their seat. He's like, I'm right. He's like, I'm right. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And then you hear a loud rumbling sound. It almost sounds like thunder. And then he looks down at his belly.
Oh no. There's no way I can afford to feed this thing. Like,
Let alone if he's alcohol poisoning.
At this point, emerging from behind the bar stool is Collodi, wearing what looks to be broken bits and pieces of like the bar that he has smashed up. And as he does so, he seems to be wearing like kind of this chef hat, but it's kind of like tilted on his side, and he says, "Well, I reckon that someone here needs a feeding. Lucky for you, I'm the quickest chef this side of the Stellan River. If your belly needs filling, then you look no further than old Cookie Collodi, the king of the barbecue. And I'm gonna use Collodi's bombs as a catalyst to then like set fire to like a makeshift grill. That's like kind of like I'm gonna have Malvolo kind of use like some of the broken bits and pieces and just put it like build it onto the actual bar itself.
Oh, so like hibachi.
Yeah.
Got it. As Marvolo and Collodi start to create like this weird indoor barbecue scenario, Miko like is just like what like we survived a giant attack, and it's Collodi. It's always been Collodi. that was the real problem here. And as like the bar kind of just starts to smell and smoke, and some of the guards kind of get up and open the door to the front to let like the smoke out from the explosion. Amiko's like looking at you, Marvolo, and is like, what is happening?
I think I need some fresh air. I jump out the window.
Do you break the window doing this? Like, I know a lot of this is destroyed, but that's really kind of rude.
I do not. I climb out the window like a gentleman does.
Yes. How considerate of you.
Like a gentleman, Malvolo evacuates the building via the window. As Collodi is going to grab whatever food he can, and everything is for grilling. Lettuce is for grilling, peanuts are for grilling, slices of lemon, grilling, everything. Onions, potatoes.
Slices of lemon.
That guy's glove. Yep, everything. Just.
Yep, everything. So Collodi's does the worst job of hibachi you've ever seen. He's just putting things on this like grill that they've like now created, and Longtooth is now clapping like a small child, thinking this is the greatest thing they've ever seen.
And he's just like trying to flick food at the dragon.
Oh, so like he's doing that thing where like they toss the shrimp.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Rain sitting next to you, like Longtooth has now sat up, is like leaning forward, and is just has their mouth open and is like trying to catch whatever they can. And every time Collodi makes a shot, there's like 4 that missed, but every time Collodi makes a shot, the bar erupts into cheers. So egging Collodi on, egging this on, and as you're kind of like watching and now shaking your head, and Scarlet is having a go at Jack for being married and being both Scarlet and Rain have this sudden striking image of Cecilia in the dark, falling in the dark, calling for help. And that's where we'll stop for our 15-minute break. We need food and something to eat, and all this talk about roasted cheese sounds delicious, and barbecue. So I'm kind of hungry.
Awesome. So thank you so much, guys. And remember, during the break, we will come back. A couple of little quick announcements here. First of all, thank you to our sponsors, Hero Forge, for the wonderful hours. You can see Fantasy Grounds for the VTT that we use. You can see the dice rolls down the bottom here. Sirenscape for the absolutely wonderful sounds that you can hear. And to you guys for all of your amazing donations for the stream. Again, if you want to know what the donations are, just type in !Runelords, and it'll tell you exactly what you can do to influence the game. And all donations up until the 10th of March go towards our Kickstarter. Sorry, not Kickstarter. Well, it does go toward Kickstarter. We are raising funds for a Kickstarter so that we can put my face on a mural outside of the VLDL studio so that I can bother my dear friend Robert Hartley, GM, every day at work with my face, because that's what we're doing. And every $100 that we make, we generate a boss fight. We are currently $5.40 away from our next boss
No.
battle. So there you go.
Yeah.
There's that. All right. Thank you very much, guys. We will be back very soon. Bye.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back. As we come back, Becca has destroyed Scarlet and Ari and taking her and slowly absorbing all the other spots
Yes.
on our stream.
Only
So,
me.
Just her. We're working on fixing that. Sorry. We had some disconnection issues. But besides that, we're all happy you're here and excited to get back. So if you're just tuning in, our characters have just saved Sandpoint from a giant / dragon invasion. Rain has befriended and become a role model for a very young dragon. Scarlet is enjoying the atmosphere of the tavern. Kalodi has become cooking Kalodi, a hibachi chef in the tavern. And there's cooking Kalodi. Thank you very much, Michael. And Marvolo is kind of trying to figure out their life at this point, dealing with everything. Marvolo was playing Den Mom for a little bit, giving out salted food and cheese to the intoxicated folk in the tavern. Most of them are guards, the people who stayed behind to help defend the tavern. As all of that was happening, Cecilia, our Dampier investigator catfolk, that's a mouthful, finally made it out from being captured by these hill giant / stone giant collaboration. Also suddenly realizing that they're jumping through time in like a weird sense. Failed a stealth roll and jumped through time with a person who was using the restroom. And that person didn't jump with her. Also, we don't know where that person is. That was quite
They
terrifying.
jump with me.
Well, you reappeared. You don't know if they did or they didn't. You just appeared somewhere differently. And as you kind of come back, Cecilia was making her way into the town of Sandpoint and tripped up on one of Marvolo's traps, and kind of slid down as she was sliding in like frustration and pain and agony of being attacked by giants, having to leave those she cares about in the clutches of these evil giants. She calls out to her friends, to Rain, and at that very moment as she slides into this pit, obviously made more for giants than humanoids, it's much larger, so she slides in. She calls out in anguish, and at that moment Scarlet and Rain, both having a supernatural connection to Cecilia, feel her anguish and feel her call. And that is where we pick up in the tavern. So all this joy is happening, and suddenly an emotional tsunami just floods into your brain, Scarlet and Rain. You see Cecilia falling and crying.
It's kind of like if your cat gets stuck somewhere and can't do anything and just like whine meows at you. I think that's the same sound that is made when Cecilia is calling out for Rain. It's just like
Scarlett is gonna just shiver and say, wow, even if we lost Cecilia, sometimes it's like she's still there.
You heard that too?
You heard that too?
Yeah, the sound, I thought, is she here? And Rain's going to almost stand up so quickly she'll hit the table with her legs and her chair will fall backwards. So I heard that, but I don't know. She's like trying to figure out, like looking everywhere, like maybe outside. She's gonna look at Scarlet. Come on, we have to.
Or it could just be a door that's squeaking and opening in and out. It sounds the same.
No, we've been waiting for her. She should have been here. I mean, everybody else is here. She was supposed to take everyone. And remember, we saw. Wasn't that who we saw? Rain's just doubting herself, like. No. That has to be her. That has to be her sound, and is running outside, just bangs the door open, her antlers scraping the door frame as she barges outside, frantically just looking out and around, trying to find out where this meowing sound is coming from.
And when the Rain just bolted off in one way, Scarlett went the opposite and then cut herself and turned and followed Rain.
I think the closer you get to the sound, the more it sounds less like a meow and more like me shouting Rain.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So
Rain! Rain!
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah, right?
yeah, dead on. Kind of running through the streets, stepping in all the puddles from the holy storm that Scarlet had created. You follow the sound both that you can hear in your head and on the wind, and you turn some of the corners. As you're kind of like moving very aggressively, you see following behind you, like almost confused and a bit unseen, is Marvolo, because they did climb out a window, so they were outside when you guys came bursting out the door. And Marvolo's just kind of like following, trying to see what's happening, and the party moves forward, and you see a dead. Yep.
Just before Marvolo just hears me saying to Rain, no, but think about it. What would she call you and not me? Maybe that's not her. Maybe it's a trick.
It's oh.
Go on.
Oh, I don't know. No, I have to. Even if it is a trap, it's worth it. Any type of information. I have to do this. If it could be her, I'm not going to miss that chance.
Okay, then you go first. Let's go. Come on.
And, if it is a trap, I'd be very interested to see what kind of trap it is.
Great, thank you. I'm glad you're all very concerned with the focus of finding Cecilia first. Goodness, come on.
Well, she should be fine. She's supposed to be out in the farmlands. Why would she even be here?
Yeah.
I mean, she'd be traveling, for like 3-4 days? She probably even hasn't reached the farm yet.
Okay, she's very fast. That's not, and I swear I saw something when we were fighting and out over the woods. I swear something was there. I just have this gut feeling, this instinct. This is something we need to follow. The sound has a panic to it. Like fearful.
I don't know, I hear giggling.
What are you talking about?
All right, well, if it puts your mind at ease, then sure, let's make our way.
Thank you. And Rain will. Can I try to sense where I hear the sound coming from?
Yeah, you could like focus on that call, that like emotion, and focusing on that, it gives you a general direction.
Okay.
And you start to move as you kind of go deeper into the town. You make your way, the group starts to make their way towards the gate.
Mm-hmm.
As you get to the gate, you now see one of Marvolo's pitfall traps seemingly has been sprung, and a massive giant is dead, right? But has like acid burned all over its body.
Yeah, we killed that one.
Yep.
It's good. This one was fine. We killed it earlier. Here's one we killed earlier. But that trap wasn't, who stepped into my trap? You know how long it takes to dig holes?
If you look down, you just see, like, on the floor, scratching at the walls. just like Cecilia in a panic state, covered in like blood. Her wound has like opened and just poured down her white fur, and she's just weeping.
Malvolo thinks that he's the one who's like injured her by having the fall like too deep or something. He kind of stops and looks at Rain and says, "To be fair, these were for giants, and at least we know it works. I'll get the rope."
Yes! Get the rope. Anything. Come on.
Stop putting down rope.
So as Marvolo slowly lowers down rope,
To point out, my pitfalls are 40 foot deep.
oof.
Why did you do that?
They were for giants!
Ah.
So yeah, lowering the rope down, you're able to Cecilia, you look up and you now see the shadows. It is in the evening. You look up and you see 3 shadows standing over you, looking down into the pit.
I look like a mess. So I think the way any cat responds to that, I think I'm just gonna back into a corner.
Part of me thinks that it'd be like you know when a cat, like you're about to let them out and they're just like, no. I just don't feel like using the rope at the moment. Yeah. The sass. Ooh. Rain, I tell you what, I'll stay up here with Scarlet. Why don't you go down and see if you can get her out?
Right. Well, make sure you at least tie the rope to something strong, unless you're going to be the one that lifts both of us back out.
I make a little pylon thing, tripod.
Right. And while I do this, maybe you should also make sure you don't have any other traps that you've left here in case anybody else happens to wander back home.
Okay, fine. Sorry, yeah, okay. I'm gonna, I guess, now that I've tied it off, I guess I'll ask Scarlet if she wants to come, but she doesn't have to. She's quite inebriated, and actually, no, I won't ask just in case she falls into a bunch of my traps. But, yeah, I mean, he mutters as he's like kind of walking around, like, well, sorry for trying to have a bit of fun before we, I had to go back to work and setting up all these traps. Now I have to disarm them all. So I go through, and by the way, I don't know if we've still got a map of all of the places I set traps. Only one of them got triggered, so I think I have like 19 massive holes to fill in, and several bombs, several boats, wax-covered ceilings. Yeah, I'm busy. I go off.
You've got a lot to clean up.
Yeah.
While Malvolo is talking, Scarlet is already heading straight into a trap.
I just rotate you like 25 degrees, just wherever you're going, like just I'll start here.
Right. Well, you two just behave, minimize the damage out here, and if you hear me screaming, please come, okay?
Okay.
Before climbing down, she's going to shout down here. Cecilia, is that you down there?
Rain?
Oh, thank goodness. Okay. It's you. She'll start lowering herself via the rope. Are you all right? I didn't expect to find you down here or that you would come back. All right.
Okay, so there's a lot going on. First of all, I'm really injured. I fell down a hole. Secondly, we got captured by hill giants, and they took like 20 of us up to this encampment. They're in carts. They're being dragged away, and I got out, but they're killing them, and we need to go back.
Okay. All right. Just breathe with me. In and out. Yeah. Okay. Good. No. Look at me. You've got this. It's okay. No. It's okay. You're back here. You're back here with us. I'm just so glad you're okay. And she's going to embrace her, kind of giving her this warm hug, lifting her a little bit off her feet. I'm just glad you're okay. And she'll set her back down.
Yeah. I'm fine. I'm fine.
Hey, no, it's okay if you're not.
We'll talk about it later. So the hill giants want to talk to me. So if they realize that I'm gone, everyone in that car is dead.
Okay. All right.
I go
Right,
back
okay,
to
so-
hyperventilating.
How did you even get out? Oh, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're here. That's right. That's the part that matters. Right. Okay. And Rain is starting to match more of Cecilia's fast breathing, and the anxiety might be growing instead of diminishing at this point.
No, why are you doing that? Don't do that. I'm doing that.
I'm sorry. I tend
And
to
it makes
match
me
the
slow
energy
breathing.
that I'm
You told
getting.
me to slow breathe.
No, right. Slow.
How's it getting faster?
Right. No. Sorry.
Okay.
She'll pull Twilo out of his little squirrel pouch. Okay, just hold Twilo for a second. Like pet the squirrel.
At the squirrel.
Calm pets. Yes.
I think you should take the squirrel back. I haven't eaten for 8 days.
And she'll reach out and snatch Twilo back, like stuff him back in. It's fine. It's okay.
Tweedle's like,
That
As-
was a good choice.
Cecilia, as you say that and you hand back the squirrel, you can now like audibly hear your tummy rumbling.
Okay.
Oh my God.
You're hungry.
I'm in a hole.
Yes. We want to help you in this.
You look different. You look what?
Oh. Right,
How long was I gone?
it was only a little while. We defended the city, but and this is kind of the reason why I'm a little hesitant to offer a little help with the food.
How long? No, don't worry about that. How long since the battle happened? How long have I been? Did I jump in time like 6 months? You have really long white hair. You didn't have that before I left?
No. Just traumatic. I turned into a dragon.
All right, forget I said anything about the time jumping thing. Dead people dying.
Wait. Is it just the hair, or
no,
do
we're
I
not.
look
Let's
older?
Get out the hole.
Just as they were talking, Scarlett like searched her pockets and found some cheese and crackers and like just threw them on Cecilia.
You watch
And
like a
I just
rabid.
said, "There!"
You watch like a rabid animal. Cecilia just starts like.
As Cecilia is aggressively eating the cheese and crackers that
It's gone.
Scarlett had from the tavern, Marvolo, you finally finish working on your winch that you were trying to put down so that you could get Cecilia and Rain out.
All right, now
And-
listen, Scarlet, this is very important. While I'm going to recover the traps that I have set around the town that are still dangerous to people, apparently, you need to stay. Scarlet. Listen,
Yeah, I'm here.
Rain and Cecilia are in the hole, and Rain weighs a ton because she is a moose person. I have made the
Put
winch.
that a little nicer.
You can hear Malvolo is loud, right? Like you can
What?
Rain is a delicate flower, and we need all of the strength necessary to hoist the love that is within inside her. So I have built a crane. So
I
what
don't
you
see
need?
how that-
So
I
you
don't
pull
see
this
how I
winch
can take-
to lower,
Oh,
this winch to raise, this for left and this for right. So all
I looked
pitch,
at it
twist,
right
and
now.
rotate. Yes,
Is it
there are
like
four
the claw?
four levers, 3 winches. Okay, just this is what they all do. Have you got it? Excellent. Good. Now where did I put that explosive? I start walking. 1, 2, 3. Wait, was it 7 or 8? Where did I count to? 9, 10.
You hear an explosion from above you, Cecilia and Rain. As you hear the explosion, Rain, you realize it's definitely probably Marvolo setting his traps off.
Great. I think it's okay. I think that's okay. I think it's okay.
The Scarlet starts to work the winch, trying to get you guys up. Scarlet, can you make me a craft check to know exactly what's what?
A craft check, right?
Yeah, crafting. Yes.
Okay. Let's do it.
Not leather crafting, as that's your.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not bad.
Not too bad.
So it's a slow go as you guys are getting like as she starts to work it. Rain, you kind of tie up Cecilia with you, and you start to head up, and it's jerking. Like it goes and then it stops and then it drops, and it reminds you of the best way to put it in like real life terms is when a person is learning to drive, they brake gas. That's kind of what's happening.
Except now we're on a rope that could fall back down.
Yes.
Perfect.
I feel sick.
What is going on up there? Hello?
We're trying our best. That's what's going on.
Immediately feeling guilty. You're doing great, sweetie. Just keep trying harder.
Give me another craft check, please, Scarlet.
Just try harder, please.
You're only one out of. You just gotta do 2 out of 30.
Oh,
It's 17. So this moves a little smoother. Again, still like that stop go. At one point you kind of like sway left and right because she's like now messing with the other contraption like bits. So you like kind of like whip
scraping
left and
against
right.
the rock.
Yeah.
Just the antlers across the
Yeah, just pulling up dirt, making Cecilia even dirtier as like she's just getting dragged on the side of the muddy hole. And you try one more time, Scarlet.
Okay. Okay.
So you're like, so you guys are like halfway there, right? Like a little more than halfway. So you're about 30 feet up. And Scarlet accidentally hits the emergency release that Marvolo plugged in, and it drops you like that hard drop, and then she hits it again, and there's that hard stop. As you guys get yanked on the winch, and at that point, anything that was in Cecilia's body just comes out of Cecilia's body.
Mm-hmm.
It is a mess. And then Scarlet quickly starts to like use the pedals and starts to pull and yanking you guys up. And finally, after the last bit, Rain, you kind of like start to come to that crest point. And at this point, you're like using your hands to like pull yourself up, and you're more inclined to use you than like rely on the winch. And
the rope is just swinging back and forth around me, and I'm just dug into the rock instead. Just hold on to me, Cecilia, and I'll get us up there, okay? Just tell them they did a great job anyway.
Which way is up?
That's actually a fair question with this.
I have lost a lot of fluid in the last couple of days.
Mhm.
Yeah, Dad mentioned I had a fever. I had a fever.
Okay,
103.
you're doing much worse than I thought. We're gonna get you up here faster. And Rain begins to book it, like digging her hands and hooves into this rock,
Yeah.
trying to scale it as quickly as possible. Just keep talking to Missy. Yeah, keep tell me about some of the people you saw. Just keep talking. Don't fall asleep on me.
Well, there was lots of hill giants, and
Okay, good.
I was passed out for several days.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Cecilia. Hey,
Yes.
hey, I'm never gonna let you forget that you fell into one of Marvel's traps.
I see 3 of you.
You what?
There are 3 scarlets in front of me.
Oh,
1,
God.
2,
The three. Come on. No. Okay,
3.
and Rain's gonna.
3.
Yes. Okay.
Uh,
Can I make
Hey,
it to the
hey.
top like this?
yeah. Now you come up over the top. Scarlet, you're like looking down, and Rain just kind of claws herself up, with Cecilia like kind of cradled like a child. And Rain drags and pulls herself up and flops Cecilia like up onto the ledge, and Cecilia is just kind of like all loosey at this point. You climb up, Rain. You unhook your harnesses. As you do, you hear a loud, childlike scream as Marvolo, off into the distance, has found an unsuspecting surprise in one of his traps.
Is it the thing that's screaming or Malvolo that's
Oh, it's
screaming?
Marvolo.
Okay.
Marvolo, as you look down in one of your pitfall traps, that you're now going around and trying to just, I'm assuming like spring to allow them to, so that you could see there's a hole, right?
Yeah.
And while Scarlet is pulling the winch up, and you feel confident that she's got this. You set off your explosion by accident. It happens to the best of us. And then you look and you're walking around. You're like, oh, there was another pitfall trap. And as you get to the edge to look down, you see 2 green eyes staring back from the darkness. And then you hear, hey, get me out of here, boy.
Just while that happens, Scarlett is gonna go to Cecilia and say, hey, how many fingers do I have? But then being drunk herself, it's gonna go, wait.
how many fingers do you think you have? And then
I
I'll
don't
answer.
know.
Because I have
7?
never counted your fingers before.
12? What do you think? And I'm just gonna put them into your face like this.
Oh,
Why do you smell like cheese?
Okay, that's it. Back to the green eyes.
The cheese mystery will remain.
Sure. Looking down in my pit trap, I can't see what's down there. There is something. It's talking to me. It's asking me to get it out. I don't want to, because I don't know what you are, and you clearly have green eyes, and I mean, I'm not talking about like the really cute green eyes you see across the way from a barista that, still hasn't learned your name after the fact that you go there every single day and order the same thing, and she still calls you Ryan, but still, these are the green eyes that belong to some sort of evil soul-dwelling monster, and I'm going to cry a little as Kalodi is cooking food for the dragon. Rain is, as last I checked, in a hole with Cecilia, and Scarlet is drunk. I pretend to be brave, and I say, I am a hero of Sandpoint, and I demand you tell me, who are you, person in my trap?
Why don't you get me out, hero? And as the eyes kind of now focus up on you, you realize they are fairly far apart from each other and large. Like, big emeralds. That's the best way to put it.
Mm-mm.
And they're
Mm.
glowing in the dark.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Walk away.
Okay. What would just okay. Here we go. I'm going to take out my inventor's kit, and I'm going to attempt to craft a small flare.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm gonna use my assurance to get a 30.
Yeah, you make a really nice sulfur flare.
Oh, please don't be demons. Please don't be demons. Don't be spiders. Don't be demon spiders. Don't be demon spiders. Okay.
Please be a giant sloth.
Oh, because we get along so well.
As the flare starts to drop, and then it starts to light up on the inside and passing. And at first you're like, wait, I thought this hole was way deeper. Because it looks like it looks like it hit ground. And then you see it stop and then roll off and then roll past the face. And you realize there is a stone giant stuck in this hole.
Okay.
And it's staring up at you.
Yeah, look, I'm afraid that I'm not going to be letting you out. You see, you tried to destroy the town, and it appears as though you've fallen for one of my clever traps. So, in lieu of letting you out, I'm going to go get the guards, and they're either going to arrest you, but I'm not sure how arresting giants works in this town, or they're going to kill you.
And as you say, you're not letting him out. You're going to arrest him. He bellows. He's like, get me out, and he slams his fist on the wall of the hole.
Ooh.
And as he does, you kind of like rock back and forth. Make a reflex save to see which way you fall.
Go.
Go,
Malvolo.
Gadget. Reflex save.
Oh no, I get a 21.
So as he slams his fist, it kind of takes you off that, like, he rocked the earth so much and you were kind of standing at the edge to drop the flare in. And you're like, nope, I'm gonna arrest you. You tilt forward and you start to go. And you rock back and forth, and then you're able to steady yourself, and then you lean backwards and you fall right on your tuchus. As you land on your butt, the giant's like, get me out! And he starts to slam his hand. Boom, boom. And now it sounds like thunder. At this point, way over in the distance, you have Rain, Cecilia, and Scarlet up on the top. Now it sounds like thunder.
Is there a thunderstorm? Thunderstorm. Thunder's a strange word.
I don't think this is a good thing. This can't be a good sign. No. And she's gonna scoop Cecilia up, kind of like a wedding carry, if you will.
Yeah, yeah.
Time for a romantic getaway.
I was like cat-like in like a big.
And I'm gonna say shh to Cecilia, but like across her face like this, and smoosh her face with my fingers.
The drunk shush. Not the drunk shush. So the party have, to the best of their ability, make it over. Cecilia, you're bobbing and weaving into this nothingness of falling asleep, and as you get over, Scarlet, you kind of come over to Rain. You're holding him. You now see Marvolo sitting on his butt, looking over, and from the hole in front of him, it sounds like thunder is just exploding from the inside of that hole.
What's happening?
Nothing good.
So one of the traps worked. We have a unexpected visitor. A stone
Spit it
giant
out.
got
What?
trapped. Yeah, in there.
How? What?
Ask it's where its people are.
Hey, you! Where are your people?
That's a little rude.
As you now hear, I ain't talking to you, small man. Get me out now.
Wait, you said this was a storm giant?
No, stone giant. Sorry,
Oh,
my
stone giant.
accent is very thick today.
I was like, maybe they're a friend if they're not with the stone giants. Got real hopeful.
Okay. All right. I have an idea. Scarlet.
Yes.
Okay. Do you think you can work your interrogation abilities to maybe get some information from the giant?
I was afraid you'd never ask. And I go the opposite way of the giant.
I rotate you like 59 degrees. And then I tie a rope to your back, so just as you're about to like just casually walk into the hole, I just kind of okay.
Very soft.
So Scarlet, you're kind of like leaning. So like Marvolo, you're leaning back, and like staring over at Rain, and Scarlet has now leaned forward and is like at a 45-degree angle staring down at this stone giant that is, well, you could see more or less its face as illuminated in red light from the flare Marvolo created that's still sitting on its shoulder. And it's looking up at you. It says, "Oh, look at this, another one. Get me out of here."
You get out of here.
All right. Let's everyone calm down for a second. What are you doing here?
No, I'm asking the questions. What she said. What did you say?
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here? You ugly. You.
No.
Ugly. Look who's talking. Look who's saying ugly. It's like the kettle calling the pot black up there.
I'm ugly.
Yeah, look
Are
how
you
tiny you are. Not nothing.
You know, part of me just hopes that Scarlet's like, "What? Hold my earrings! Just I'm gonna
dare
kick these
you.
guys' ass."
Puts her hair in a bun.
Yeah,
I'm about to.
just goes down.
That's what I wanted to, but just kind of trying to grab him, but you're holding
Let
me
me at him! Let me at him!
I'll show you who's ugly. Let me. I'll kick his ass. Kick his ass, Marvolo. Let me. I'll give him a.
Okay.
I'm gonna whoop his ass.
Let's have everyone calm down for a second.
I'm real calm.
You are okay. Let's prop you up. Right? She's gonna set you on the ground, kind of up next to a stone, so you're sitting up and can see everything.
Mhm.
Just stay right there. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Scarlet, if you have any more of those crackers.
Oh yeah. I grabbed the crackers and I threw them on the giant. There.
No. I meant okay. No, that's accept our peace offering.
I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, it's there for you.
So Scarlet like throws down crackers at the stone giant, like calling ugly. And then Rain props up Cecilia. Cecilia is leaning on this stone, wobbly headed, blood lost, hungry, confused, and Marvolo and Rain now pull back Scarlet as Scarlet's like, "Call me ugly one more," and you get back, and at this point, Rain, you're like, okay, you kind of feel like Rain and Marvolo, you have like a sense of what is going on and how to control it. And I do have to say, I I love playing with you guys. You guys are amazing. I appreciate all the time we have. Chat is also amazing and donates a lot and has given us enough to have a boss battle.
No.
Or a boss
In this
situation.
In this state? Yeah, great.
Yes, in
Cool.
a boss situation. And off in the opposite direction where you had left Collodi and Longtooth, you see an eruption of fire, like a small explosion of flames just kind of billow out over the town, lighting the town up. And you hear a thunderous draconic roar. And you now look up, and Cecilia, you for the first time, you see Longtooth as a dragon, and Rain, you see Longtooth as a dragon in their draconic form.
I see fire in the rain. Rain, I see fire.
Meanwhile, like up in the like mouth of the dragon, there's like the wooden puppet Collodi going, "I didn't know you were allergic to mushrooms."
Ah! And that is where we will end this scenario. Right on the encounter, on the cusp of the next big encounter. The party has gotten a lead with a stone giant. Also, Cecilia is back. I'm super excited to see where this goes. It is late for both Michael and AJ, so we appreciate them being here. It is about 12:30 their time. That's 12:30 a.m. their time. Brendan Fraser, Ari, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure. And Becca, we're just Easterners. We're New York. We're East Coast, so
It's
we're
fine. Whatever.
Yeah, it is whatever. But I want to say thank you very much to our sponsors, Hero Forge, for all the really cool miniatures. Whenever you see the miniatures pop up, our Dilf Jack, Cooking Collodi, Longtooth as Rain, super powerful Rain. Those are all done with Hero Forge, and they're amazing, and they sponsor us. So go check them out. Sirenscape for the cool sound effects that Michael does every so often. It's awesome. And of course, for our virtual tabletop of Fantasy Grounds Unity, which is their new system. That's the updated one, and it's really awesome. So that is really useful. Thank you very much, Fantasy Grounds, for letting us play here, and of course to Paizo for creating this amazing situation. They don't sponsor us, but they created the scenario for us. So thank you very much, and to our biggest sponsors, you, the audience, who donate and allow me to come up with these really cool, crazy encounters. So thank you very much for all of that. But I
was just going to say, we had 2 donations today. One was from a new person who was Sam. So thank you for the hero point for me, Sam. And thank you, of course, to our long-term fan, Malakisa, who gave Jared another 5 Jinx points during the course of the game. I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to acknowledge that during the show, but we were in some heavy role play, so I didn't want to interrupt the flow there, but thank you guys so much.
I don't know who Malakisa is. I really don't. This isn't like a personal connection, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. They have been my biggest supporter, and I love you for it. So thank you so much for everything you do for the Jinx points and constantly allowing me to change the flow. I appreciate it, Malakisa.
If you want to meet Malakisa does stream on their own channel. And in addition, they play with me on Mondays, which is in awesome. 8 hours ish. So
yes.
If you want to check her out. Oh yeah, you come check
I
out.
Shall. Thank you so much for that. But as always, we will go around with our party to tell you when they're not here playing with us, where you can find them, and we're going to end this session with the amazing Becca. How you doing today, Becca?
I am scared now. is a little afraid, right? Despite being Big Moose. And so we'll see how this goes. But it was such a delight. And I always love these stories because I never know what's going to happen. So, but if you want a different pacing, something else, you can find me over on my channels. We're playing Horizon Forbidden West and Destiny 2 for some Witch Queen content. Also good stories, just, space, aliens, robots, just different pacing there. So you can check me out over on X Caustic Phoenix, or if you want to join us tonight over on D20 Deathmatch, we've got some D&D PvP going on, and it'll be Jambo versus the amazing Mindari, who we often raid from this channel over. So it'll be a grand old time. So I hope you all get to join us.
Hi, I've been AJ Winters. I am a DM and world builder from Winter's Tales. We stream on Winter's Tales every Tuesday night doing a world building session, and we release a weekly world building video every Sunday in the lead up to a tabletop RPG stream that we are kicking off May this year. Started casting. We've got like assets being made, a potential studio being set up. So heaps of cool stuff. Check out Winter's Tales Co. if you're interested in any of that jazz.
I can't wait to see AJ's campaign, but yeah. Hi, I'm Ari. I'm a webcomic artist. I have a webcomic called Sally and Bean that you can check out on Insta or Webtoon. It's about a grumpy witch and her cheerful, stretchy, small dragon. And to give you an idea, right now, Sally has been enchanted by fairy dust from a psychopath fairy that she has been trapping in her home. And now the stakes are, is she going to survive or not the assault? Kind of. New episodes every one day. Dun, dun, dun.
And hi guys, my name's Michael, I'm the Dead Aussie Gamer. This is my place, this is my face. You can find it here most days of the week. I stream a variety of D&D content, mostly live plays with my Patreons on the regular, but I also do things like Hero Forge building kind of shows where this month we are doing Hero Forge Celebrity Edition. So we're inviting a bunch of individuals to come and play with us, including, of course, Quincy from Quincy's Tavern helped us build a character for him. Then your favorite narrator, who's another friend of mine, has also come out of the woodworks. And yeah, we're I don't know who we're getting this week. I think I've got Thomas from One for All coming. Either that, or I'll probably bug Dread, because I love Dread, and we should do things with Dread. But yeah. So that's what we're doing. Also, for the month of, the rest of this month and until the 10th of March, all donations are going to a prank that I'm going to be pulling on Robert Hartley GM. Most of you know Robert Hartley GM, a wonderful streamer and part of our stream team between me and Dread, is currently working for a team of New Zealand comedians called Viva la Dirt League. They are doing a Kickstarter to build their new studio, and for $5,000, you can have your mural put up on their wall forever. It is my dream, it is my hope that you and other people who also wish to prank Rob will help me by raising enough money to donate to the wonderful Kickstarter and have my face bother Rob every single day he goes to work forever. So that is my hope. So yay! Thank you very much in advance to everyone who's donating and helping us out with that. Yay! Yay! Yay!
It's my turn to talk. I talk so much, I forget. Yeah, so I'm GM Jared. I'm from Nothing Ventured, Nothing Gained, and we play Wednesdays. We do another Pathfinder 2nd edition campaign, and we have a YouTube that we do like conversational pieces where I bring up hot button topics and I argue most of the time in the negative. Like I argued just before that I hate the charisma stat and I think we should get rid of it. And then, yeah, I'm mean. I'm not the nice guy. I argued that we should get rid of it, but yeah.
Boo.
So yeah, so
Charisma
check out.
is my highest stat.
Yeah, but I dislike it. I'm not a fan of charisma. For multiple reasons, but you can check that out on my YouTube video. But you can find me on my website, nvngpodcast.com. Yeah, all my links are on there with the doobly doos. And yeah, doobly doos. But I'm going to toss it back over to Michael because Michael likes to raid people and Michael does the sign off. So go, Michael, go.
Indeed. Once again, a massive thank you to all of our fans who came and joined us today. Big thank you to all of you guys who came and spent your morning with us. It means so much to have members of the community come and support the things that we do, because ultimately that's what we all need to do. Support the people that you love, enjoy what they do, and let them know, whether it's my channel, whether it's wherever you happen to go. Now, because of course we are going to get to watch Mendari go toe-to-toe with her opponent on D20 Deathmatch, what better place to go and raid than our dear friend Faye? Please go over, raid with everything, all the emotes, all the cool things. Unleash the horde, as we like to say here. Until we meet again, until we meet next time. As always, from us to you, game hard or die trying. Bye, everyone.